frame, banks whisper his name. Flipping forex, indices flex, numbers dance. What's coming next? Green lights flash, P&L stretch. Risk managed, he never sweats. West fact buzz and traders peep. Lessons deep, no time to sleep. Market's a beast, league got the leash. Feast at the feast, his game's elite. Market structures is domain. Leads the king, they know his name. Breakout Sharpie fuels the flame. Trading charts is not a game. Pip by pip, he stacking high. Mean reversion, banks comply. Leads the reason markets run. Leads the reason markets run. Candles lit, wicks on fire, spread so tight the stakes get higher. Institutional flow, he's the supplier. Positions held till charts retire. Data feeds, news he reads. Fibonacci maps the seeds. Supply demand his mind exceeds. Trades ignite like lightning speed. Stop loss tight, take profit wide. Leads precision, unmatched drive. Liquidity pools, banks coincide. Retail's blind, leads the guide. Charts unfold, the stories told. Entry bold, accounts in gold. Trade by trade, the wins are sold. Market alchemy, legends mode. Whoa, 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 whoa. Lead the reason markets run. Lead the reason markets run. Lead the reason markets run.
Lee wakes at dawn to a glowing screen. Charts and candles, the digital sheen. Open in range, his weapon so keen. He's the structured trader, a market machine. Bank moves, he mimics, he plays their game. Near reversion, glory is his claim to fame. Market structure king, watch him do his thing. Pips and points, the profit sing. Trading like the banks, he's in control. Leaves the master filling his bankroll. Leaves the master filling his bankroll. His mind's a map of supply and demand, turning charts to gold with a steady hand. Forex flows like rivers in his plan. Aces bow to the market man. Break out at the open, the strategy's tight. Position for the swing, he wins the fight. Risk is measured, the balance precise. Leads on the rise, he rolls the market structure king. Watch him do his thing. Pips and points, the profit sing. Trading like the banks, he's in control. Leads the master filling his bankroll. Lead the master filling his bankroll.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Good afternoon. How are we doing? 1 second. So I've still got my YouTube open, so there's a load of noise going on. How are we all doing? How is everybody? Happy Monday. We're back. Finally. Right. Hello, who we got? E-Read, new name, hello. Fletch, afternoon. Marcus, Marco even, Road, how we doing? So this afternoon we're going to go through the usual stuff, going to have a look at what's going on with news, trade the open. We went through in the members stream this morning what's going on with Venezuela. I closed out quite a lot of, not a lot, but closed out quite a bit the position trader stuff this morning. Just to limit the risk, really, on the US dollar. So it is actually still going up at the moment, but no idea what's going to happen with that dollar. So it could be a decent drop in the dollar if Venezuela kicks off. So I've basically just reduced all my risk on the dollar and banked it, basically, because it's a little bit dicey. Afternoon, Chris. Happy New Year. Afternoon, Segar. Right, so let's have a quick look at what's going on with the open. DAX was nice today. So the DAX this morning, ORB, really easy. Clean break long, up to target, and then trailer took out the second part. We're back up there again. US markets this morning, quite quiet. As you can see, everything very flat in Globex. Huge move on the Dow. It's a massive move on the Dow. What are we? 306. Yeah, that's a big move, isn't it? So there's no trade on the Dow today. The trouble with the opening range breakout, EA, is when you come back from a period of quiet, the ADRs are all very, very small. So when you get a big move at the open like this, obviously the average daily range we've had over the last 10 days has been small because Christmas. So that's not going to take a trade because the ADR is too small. So that range is too big. That's a massive old spike on the Dow, look. Fairly decent move on NASDAQ as well. That's within range at the moment. And gold not really moving at all. So we'll see where we go. For those that are in the live room this morning, the members stream, that trade that I took was lovely, straight down. I took it off at the propulsion gap because it looked like we were rejecting propulsion. So yeah, nice little trade that today. We haven't got down to target yet though, previous close. So there's still a high probability of hitting that close, but obviously today is a little bit of an anomaly. So we'll see where we go. Yeah, so range way too big on the Dow. So the 1 bar range far too large on the 5-minute ORB. NASDAQ, we are short already. So there we go. We'll see where we go at the open, but shorts at the open on the NASDAQ. So news-wise today, I did cover all this in the live room this morning in the members, but we've got the PMIs at 3 o'clock. So 25 minutes, we've got the PMI numbers coming out. Rest of this week is fairly quiet. Australian dollar CPI expected to drop on Wednesday. We've also got the services PMIs on Wednesday for the US. We got CPI for the Swiss. If that doesn't come out at a 0 and we get a negative, even if it's a negative 0.1, I think we're dropping that interest rate to negative on the Swiss franc. Currently on the Swissy, we're sitting at 0, obviously, for the interest rate. But they will go into negative interest rates if they want to. Historically, obviously, we know they do negative interest rates. Negative 0.75 we're at for absolutely ages before the interest rate rally off of COVID. We're back to 0 now. There's no reason why we won't go down to a negative 0.25. So just be aware of that. If we get a negative 0.1, negative 0.2, or even worse, that interest rate is likely to come down, which will tank the Swiss franc. So could be some moves on Thursday morning. Good for news trading. Unemployment claims on Thursday, and then we've got non-farm payroll Friday, unemployment rate for the US dollar, and obviously non-farm employment. So Friday is going to be a biggie. I'll be on with the members at 2 o'clock after that's come out. So there's another news trading opportunity on Friday. So there you go. What's happening in Venezuela, obviously, is who knows at the moment. It could go absolutely anywhere. So we'll see how we get on. Let me just load up the right set file. So we'll see how we go. We are negative on the DAX, on the NASDAQ at the moment, but we'll see. Afternoon, David. How are we doing? So position trading wise, this is what I've got on at the moment. I'll whiz through what is currently live. So I've got DAX on at the minute. I did go through these this morning, but I'll go through them as well this afternoon. I've got DAX one short at the moment. Aussie New Zealand, first entry taken on that this week as well. Up here, that's in profit a little bit at the minute, but looking for a big pullback on the Aussie New Zealand leg. So looking for a nice big move down on that one. I've got CAD Swiss on at the moment as well. That's just about in profit. First trade on that. I've got a fairly conservative TP on that. Here, oh, where have we gone? Say fairly conservative. It's not bad, but 200% of ADR. I'm not convinced on that one. I'm going to watch what happens and where we are when the Swiss franc rate is released. Sorry, the CPI number is released. If that's in profit, I'll probably take it off before the CPI number. CAD yen, all the yens were pretty strong this morning. We are pulling back a little bit at the moment. So we've got a nice 3-bar reversal potentially going in on the yens, but yen's coming down nicely. 125 ADR on the CAD yen. Euro yen also dropped very nicely. I'm short on that as well. So that's nicely in profit. In fact, kind of an argument for taking that one off, but I haven't. Target is the weekly low on that. I've got Euro odd as well. That's currently running slightly in drawdown. That's down. That's just hit ADR actually to the downside. So first trade taken on that one last week. New Zealand dollar CAD and US dollar CAD as well. So New Zealand dollar CAD, that's about to hit target. Not going to muck about. I'm just going to have that. Stick it in the bank. And US dollar CAD as well. So that's TP hit on that one. And US dollar CAD, obviously, this could go anywhere, this one. So I've done drawdown control on this one a couple of times. So I banked some oil and gold over Christmas and did DD control with that profit on the US dollar CAD. And this morning I got out of 50% of that, 50% of that, and I closed that one out in profit. That one got taken on Friday to do drawdown control as well. So yeah, so I've just basically dropped the lot size on all of these basically down. I've got that one on, which is a fairly decent size at the moment, which is 150 ADR away from where we are at the moment. So it's pretty safe today. But if this US dollar, if the US situation in Venezuela escalates, there is a chance that that might tank. So that's why I've got out of the dollar, just in case. If we are going to go into drawdown on it, I don't want to go into drawdown 6 trades in deep. So at the moment, all I've got on is fairly light positions on them. There, so I've got 5 on, but these are all half positions now. So I can actually close that out pretty much and just use some of today's profit to get rid of it. In fact, there's an argument for doing that, but I'll just leave it as it is for the minute. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Right, let's see how we're getting on with the indices. So we are dropping on the NASDAQ, clean break short at the moment, but it doesn't look particularly exciting, does it? We're not really going anywhere too much. The indicator, I'm doing videos this week. I've just recorded the video for the risk reward tool, the fast trade buttons, basically. So I've just done the video for that and uploaded it. I've got to just do a thumbnail for it, basically, and I'll post that out. I'm doing a video for this tomorrow for the ISLA indicator. It's a bit of a mouthful, that one. I have to keep reminding myself what it's called. It's that complicated. Index statistics and session level analysis indicator. Basically, this box that gives you all the data that you need. But yeah, so basically I'm going to do a video for this hopefully tomorrow and post that as well. So that obviously I haven't managed to get the videos done on them. The manuals are up and the indicators and the EA is obviously available, but I haven't done any video content for it. So that's my plan for tomorrow, just to go through what all of this is. So looking at the NASDAQ today, we've only had 2 similar gap and open situations in the last 100 days. So not really any usable statistics there. Open inside previous close, there's a 70% chance. So the best short play today is a previous close trade. Got a 70% chance of that getting hit. However, I would say, and I did say this morning, today I think you need to take most statistics, if all of the statistics, with a bit of a grain of salt. Because obviously it's the first proper trading day today back after Christmas. We've had 2 weeks of weird price movement. And obviously the Venezuela things hit hard over the weekend. So statistics, when you've got this sort of day, aren't as reliable. But typically when we open inside of the previous day's range, we tend to hit the previous close 70% of the time. So the probabilities of a short play down into there are 70%. So looking for bearish price action down there today, potentially. Obviously ORB has already gone that way, but we're outside bar back inside the 5-minute range now. So it might, it's very whippy, very indecisive, which is kind of what you'd expect with the situation we're in at the moment. Look at that DOW. Jesus. That's huge. Huge move. ADR is 372 over the last 10 days. So that 10-minute range there is more than ADR in 10 minutes. So DOW today, quite difficult to trade that price action. If you're looking to get in long, good luck finding a pullback. If you're going to get in long now, you've kind of missed the whole ADR. So not really tradable today. But NASDAQ looks like it's going to stop out on the first break short. Whippy today. Whippy, very whippy. There you go. Stopped out on the first break short. So potential for a 30-minute ORB short, but might take a manual on that one. We'll just see how we get on. Monitor the price action. Afternoon, Lucius. Is your TP on position trading EA also automated or only manual? Both. Depends what I think, basically. So there is no such thing as, well, there is obviously such a thing as using full automation, but things change, situations change. So I basically change with the situation. This US dollar CAD's a great example. So normally, if I've got a trade on with position on with 5 trades, which, I mean, this morning this was in point. I don't know, I'd have to look at the member stream this morning, but I think it was in 0.9 or something. You know, it's about a % drawdown or something. Normally, I wouldn't consider drawdown control on a trade like that, but because it's been there for 2 weeks now, over 2 weeks, and it's not going anywhere, that's why I'm doing drawdown control on it. So you can't just take a trade and go, okay, I'm going to take 1 ADR of profit. Realistically, if you've got price action, which is going to do that, and it's all beautiful, yes, target 1 ADR and get out automated and it's all fine. But price action sometimes does things like that. Yeah. And if I've been sitting in something for 2.5 weeks, I've got 5 trades on, I might just go for that low. So I'll automatically, well, not automatically, but I'll manually put my targets here so that when we get back there and in case we double bottom into a range, I'll get out there instead of targeting 1 ADR. So it's a mix of manual targeting and automated targeting. So a lot of this stuff you see on the P&L here, anything over Christmas. So all this stuff that was closed out November. Oh, sorry, these are weeks, aren't they? Yeah, I haven't got anything. But anything that was closed out here was all automated. I did some manual closes here, and I did some manual closes today, but that was all automated because I wasn't here. I wasn't watching. I was watching, but I wasn't doing anything. So with trading, anything you get into, basically, you have a trade plan. So if you've got like right now, if I say I want to go short, stop there, my target is going to be the previous close. Yeah. So that's my trade idea. If price now basically does this after taking a trade like that, I will leave that in place. If instead of doing that, it does this, and we get to there and it starts coming down, I'll probably move my TP here because it looks like we're not getting through the Globex lows here. So I will adjust my TP. So the trade plan, if everything goes to plan, is that. Yeah, nice risk reward. If the trade doesn't go to plan, I have to adapt. There is no trader on the planet you will find that's profitable that just goes, I do this every time. You do what you see, you trade what you see, and you're going to see different things all the time. So you have to be flexible. You can't just jump in and say everything I do is going to be this. It doesn't work that way. If it did, we'd all be multimillionaires, wouldn't we? Because we'd all be using EAs that just make money. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as an EA that just prints money all the time. Market conditions change. You have to change with it. Venezuela gets their leader taken away. I'm getting out of US dollar. Yeah, if the Venezuelan leader wasn't kidnapped, I'd probably still be in US dollar CAD with a full position now. But he was, so I'm not. So, yeah. There's no such thing as bog standard in trading. It's all different. So this looks like a lovely short. We are bullish still at the moment. So we are higher highs, higher lows. If we start to close bearish and we break that candle low, the 15-minute range low, that's a nice little short play. But right now, we are fighting hard, bulls and bears, and no one's in control at all. There you go. A nice spinning top. No one's in control at the moment. So I'll be looking for shorts up here at the minute. If we get up there, see if we can stay in a range. The fact that the Dow Jones has gone through the roof today, I would say, is probably a sign that we are trying very hard to go bullish. Gold's broken long as well, but just indecision at the minute. Wait and see where we go. So this is a very, very big gap up today. It's 100% of the average daily range we've gapped up today. So these gaps, we don't close them that often. We do, but this might be a tricky one today. It's difficult to know. But I still like this short though. It still looks nicely bearish to me. Haven't been on for a while, but that statistic board is very clever. Can you tell me how it works? It's on MQL5 Marketplace. So you can get it. How can I get you to that seller? Wait a minute. Let me. I'll find it. So it's this one here. Index statistics and session level analysis. I've nicknamed it ISLA, because it's too much of a mouthful. I tried to come up with something SEO friendly and also that says what it is, but it's quite difficult. So Isla, it is. I'll put a link in the chat to it. It's for MT4 and MT5. But basically all it does is it gives you the EuroCAD has just hit ADR. It just basically gives you all the statistics. It's for stock indices, futures markets really. So stock indices, gold, oil, anything that gaps and trades on futures, basically. So you could try and use it for forex, but forex doesn't have an open. So the whole purpose of this is it gives you the statistics on how price moves based on what price does. So, for example, today, that was the close of Friday. So that's your previous close. We've opened here today. Yeah, this is the Globex session. Yeah, so you've got your Globex low and your Globex high. So what this does is it tells you when we open inside of the previous day's range, it gives you statistics on how often we hit the previous session high, the previous session low, the previous daily high, previous daily low, the Globex high, the Globex low. When we have a similar gap with a 25% variation, so in today it's gapped up 267, which is an ADR basically. It's only done that 9 times in the last 100 days, so it's an anomaly. Similar gaps have only closed 33% of the time. So the chances of a gap fill is 33%. Yeah. So the likelihood is it's not going to get there. Yeah. When we've got a similar gap and a similar open, i.e. we've opened inside yesterday's high and low. Yeah. We've opened inside the previous session and we've got a gap of an ADR. It's only happened twice in 100 days. So statistically, it's no use. Yeah. The DAX today, however, had much more statistics. So it gives you basically information on what is the probability of us getting to A, B, C, or D. Yeah. So if you're looking at the moment at this price action going, I haven't got a bloody clue where it's going, quite right. The market hasn't got a clue where it's going because statistically, it doesn't know where to go because it doesn't do this very often. We don't gap up by an ADR. Very rarely do we ever do that and manage to open inside the previous day's range. Why? Because if we've gapped an ADR, normally we've gone beyond the average daily range. Therefore, to be inside of the previous daily range must have been a good 200% of the average daily range. How often does that happen? 2% of the year. So we've got a complete anomalous day today. So these statistics just aren't any use. But normally they would be. So it just gives you all the information. So how many bull days we've had, how many bear days we've had, how many inside bars we've had, how many outside bars we've had, what is our bull and bear streak on sessions and on daily candlesticks, are we bullish or bearish based on moving averages. It gives you all the statistics. You can turn all of this on and off as well, so you can turn all the lines on and off. So it's just, think of it like a stock index trader's mate. Yeah, so you've got an analyst sitting next to you going, don't go short today because the probabilities are it's not going to get hit. Yeah, so that's all you're using it for. I say all you're using it for, it's bloody brilliant, but that's what it does. Just tells you where to go. At the moment, don't go anywhere. So we've got an inside bar, and we are setting up a 2IB at the moment, which is a 2 inside bar setup. So that is a symmetrical triangle on a 1-minute chart. Useless. So if this candle 6 closes inside candle 5, we're looking for a break of 5 basically to give us an idea of direction for the next 5 minutes or so. But right now it's all over the place. 3 minutes left on this candle though. It feels heavy to me, like it wants to go short, but that's only because we're a 10-minute range is bearish. Market is completely undecided at the minute where it wants to go, isn't it? But if we look at the DAX today, if I quickly whiz back over to the DAX and load up the DAX statistics, you can see this, the DAX stats today are much more realistic. So we're on a bull streak of 7 bull days in a row. Yeah. So 7 days bullish. A bull day, basically, we're closing above the highs, higher highs, higher lows, basically. You can see here, it doesn't matter. The candlestick color is irrelevant. A bull day is a higher low and a higher high, or a higher low and a double top. Yep. So we've got 7 bull days on the trot. Session wise, won't give me session statistics on a daily chart. Okay. We've actually had 6 bear sessions, even though we've had 6 bull days. The actual sessions, the trading sessions for the DAX from 8 o'clock till 4:30 have all been bearish. Yeah. So it just tells you the market's going like that. So you want to be looking for range-bound trades. It also tells you who's in control of the market. So if you can adjust all of these settings, but I have it set to 3 candlesticks closing within a 20% of the high. Yeah, that's what these arrows are drawn by. This basically tells you that the market is bullish, obviously. So what you're looking for is pullbacks into propulsion to buy again. Yeah. So when that changes to bearish, obviously that will go bear. And bullish moving average. So this is your session moving average. If we're above that, we're bullish. So if we're bullish with a bullish moving average, i.e. price action is agreeing with direction, you want to be looking for pullback continuation moves. If, like on the NASDAQ today, we're range bound, you can sell the highs and buy the lows. It will say that no one's in control of the market. But yeah, it gives you all the statistics basically. So similar gaps have closed 64% of the time. So we've got a gap today. There's only 14 days actually where it's happened, but we've got a gap today, which is 62% of the average daily range. And we've managed to reach a gap close to the previous day's close 64% of the time. When we've opened inside the previous day's range with a gap of a similar 15% in this case, size, we've only had 6 of those, but 83% of the time we've hit that low. So at the minute, and it is still, and this is why I took this trade this morning, because I was going on that statistic, I was looking for a push back down into the previous close, but market's pushed back up again. So there's still a short play on down to there with an 83% probability. But that means that there is still a 17% chance that's not going to happen. Yeah, so it doesn't give you any trade execution signals, but it tells you what the most likely thing to happen today is. If it pushes up and there's an 83% probability that we're going to close the gap, even though it's pushing up, you probably want to look for shorts, which is why in the members stream this morning, Aussie dollar CAD 175 ADR today. In the members stream this morning, we took that trade because this propulsion gap here closed with an M pattern reversal. So we took a short with a target down here, but it hit this propulsion gap, closed this propulsion gap and started bouncing back out again. So I decided to close a partial, which was a good thing because it didn't play out. But that's still on. Yeah. So we got a high, a low, a lower high potentially forming. Your lower low is the previous close with an 83% probability. Or if you just go on gaps and forget the fact that it's also closed inside bar, we've had that 14 times in the last 100 days, and 64% of those have closed there. So it's not great, is it, statistics wise? If you think about it, we've only got a data set of 14 days to work on here. So we're diluted data set. If that was something like 35 days or something, we've gapped similarly, and it's done that. That gives me more confidence. So this number here in brackets is kind of your confidence meter. So we're measuring 100 days worth of statistics. I'm only working on a data set of 14 out of 100. So it's not actually amazing. So you can kind of ignore the lower ones and work on the ones where you've got decent data sets. So hitting the session low, there's a 51% probability. It's 50-50. Everything today is 50-50 because the market, we come out of Christmas. Friday was a huge day. We're inside bar and everything's gapped. It's all 50-50 today because the market's in absolute turmoil, isn't it? But on a normal day, this makes much more sense. That probably didn't answer your question, did it? I just rambled on about how it works. Doesn't really give you any ideas. Look at this. This is absolutely useless. This is going nowhere today. I'm just going to change that to 15% as well. That just changes that statistic there to 15%. So similar gaps. I want to know with a deviation of 15%. So what this does is it measures the size of the gap today, and it looks for, in the past, any instances which are plus or minus 15% of what today's gap is. So that would be something like to about 30 something points either side of 267. Today's obviously a complete anomaly, but you can adjust that and make it either more or less aggressive, if you like. Right, so we are... don't know what we are today. Lower low, lower high. But look at the size of these wicks. Until we get a candlestick that closes without massive wicks everywhere, wouldn't want to do anything with this today. We are literally just a mess. The Dow is off. We're out of last week's high on the Dow, which means we're all-time highs. So there we go. So that was your all-time high, and that has just been taken out. So exactly the same as the DAX this morning. If you remember in the members stream this morning, we looked at all-time high. We said all-time high has just been taken out. The probabilities of all-time highs failing on first attempts is very, very high. We're exactly the same with the Dow. So Dow is attempting to break out all-time highs. Probability is we're going to fail. So if we hadn't have closed bullish there, I would have said that's probably a good short, that candle, but it's not. So if this is going to be your M pattern reversal here, we've got an uneven M pattern. So we'd be looking for a break back down. So close of 6 or 7, 5 ideally, I'd be looking for shorts. So a good trade at the moment will be breaking that short, coming back down and retesting the open. Not very good risk reward, but can't really do a lot with this today. It's messy. Okay, so we've had a nice bull candle go in there, but it's still an outside bar. Outside bar is still indecision. Doesn't mean the bulls are in control. It means the bears tried to take control and failed, but the bulls have tried to take control. Until this candle closes higher high, higher low, we're not really in control, are we? Yet. But not a bad little long, but where are you going to go? Go on to an hourly chart. So last week's high is a potential target. This is your high from Friday and your low from Friday. So this is what I mean by we've gapped up from the close. We've gapped up one ADR, but we're still within Friday's range because Friday's ADR was absolutely vast. So ADR is 256. Friday we put in 534. So we did over 200% of ADR on Friday. Some big days going in today. Markets all over the place today because obviously it's first day back. So there's massive volume going in and total confusion everywhere. So just hanging fire, waiting to see if anything actually triggers. So no long break at the moment. The 30-minute ORB was too big. So there's no trade on the 30-minute ORB. It's above 40% of average daily range, so I'm not going to trade ORB. Gold long trade's been taken. It's as good a target as any, I guess. So that's 2R on gold to the upside. Kind of coincides with that low. So this area here, we've retested a couple of times. We sat around there for a bit. So there's potential that that's not a bad bounce point. So long gold on the 30-minute ORB. So that's your 30-minute range, your initial balance. Looking good. Yeah, so all my indicators, as Ryan said, are only on the, as Rhodes said, only on the MQL5 marketplace. Don't sell them direct on the website. This will, so I'm literally just putting this up on the website before I came on. I didn't get a chance, but that will be live today on the website, but it's on MQL5 if you want this. Risk reward tool. Similar to Edgeful. Pass, don't know. Edgeful. Is that the oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. It is similar. I don't know if you've used this, but it's awful, in my opinion. It gives you, yeah, so you got similar sorts of statistics. But, you know, statistics are no use unless you know how to trade them. Yeah. So this website, I signed up on this ages ago. Didn't even know it's still going, but it's good at giving you statistics, but I can shout numbers at you till you're blue in the face. If you don't know how to trade them, they're useless. Yeah. So in the same way as this is useless to you, yeah, all this data is absolutely no use to you unless you know what to do with it. So I can tell you the probabilities of getting to the previous close are 70%. Yeah, on this instrument right now. So I can also tell you that today that statistic is unlikely to get hit because of that statistic and the fact that we have just had a sovereign nation invaded by the US. So, you know, statistics are only as good as your ability to read them, which is all this is only as good as that. If you can't read price action, yeah, none of this is going to help you anyway, because what you're going to do is just hit buttons at random anyway, aren't you? So it needs to be used in conjunction with your brain and something like the risk reward tool so that you know how to trade it. But I guess it is, yeah, I mean, it's similar to Edgeful. Edgeful just gives you so many stats. The problem I found with it was I thought it was a fantastic idea. When I started to use it, I understood how paralyzing it is as a tool. So there's this thing called paralysis by analysis or analysis paralysis, whichever way you want to put it. But the problem with Edgeful is if I say, I want to trade the DAX today, give me some statistics, they will give you thousands of statistics. What are you going to do with those statistics? Somebody at the door. They'll give you tons. And the problem is statistics will also disagree with each other. So it will tell you that when we open inside the previous day's range, there is an X probability of going there. When we gap by this amount, there is an X probability of that hitting there. One of them tells you to go long, the other one tells you to go short. So they cancel each other out. So what do? Nothing. Useless. Yeah. This updates as price action reads. So when we get some bulls starting to enter the market, instead of saying today is a potential range, which it is at the moment, which means I want to be selling that and buying that, Yeah. It's a bullish moving average, which means I should favor that at the moment and go long. But it also tells me that because this is a potential range today, none of this is any use whatsoever. So until I get some price action and today's bias is confirmed, I can't use these statistics. They don't mean anything, do they? So if we start seeing some bearish price action coming in, I will start looking at, right, Globex low is target 1, previous close is target 2, weekly low and yesterday's low, Friday's in this case, is target 3. What are the probabilities of me getting there? So I need, the way to use this is to say, right, I've got some bearish price action coming in. What's the probabilities of getting to these levels? I.e., where should I put my target? If it says to me, I've got, I don't know what Globex low, you've got 100% chance of hitting the Globex low, 62% chance on an inside. So we haven't had a situation where we've had this all matched up. So I would say there's a 62% chance of getting there. Yeah. Getting to the previous close, there is a probability of hitting that as well. So if I'm going to go short, yeah, I need to make sure that that is at least a 1 to 2R risk reward ratio. If I can't achieve a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2, i.e., by the time I get the trade on and I've got some bearish price action, it's down here somewhere and it just gives me a 1.5, I'm not going to take the trade because statistically and probability wise, it's not good enough for me to risk money on it. You know, and this is the problem with these websites like Edgeful and that. They give you a load of data, but I can spout data until I'm blue in the face. But unless you know how to trade, the data's useless, isn't it? I love this because it's what the reason I built this and the reason I love this is because it makes me hold longer. If the probabilities of hitting that are 70% and we start going short and the bulls start coming back at me, I'm thinking more of if this is a pullback short than, holy crap, I need to get out. So it helps you hold your trades longer because you know there's a probability of it hitting that level. You can also take screenshots with it as well, so you can actually go through them visually and look at them all. Anyway, it is a bit like Edgeful, but I don't know what Edgeful costs, but this is $49 and you only buy it once and that's it, it's done. And you can use it on any instrument you like. So it updates, obviously, all the statistics will update depending on the instrument you're on. And obviously it's in your terminal as well. You don't have to go and look at websites and go, oh, hang on a minute, what's the statistical average on that being hit? 70%. So it could get to yesterday's low. Where's yesterday's low? Hang on a minute, let me find that and plot that and draw a line on it. Does it all for you. I'm all for easy life, I'm lazy. Aussie US, still no big move down, same as Aussie New Zealand. No, still holding up. There's no reason for it to do anything. So this line here is the Christmas break, basically. We had a 2-day push after Christmas break into Christmas. That's the 23rd. And then obviously we've gone nowhere. So we're continuing now from previous price action. Pound US dollar ADR. Yeah, they're not liking it. This is what I was concerned about. The mass exodus of the dollar. Just going to keep my eye on the news feed. PMI's just come out 15 minutes ago. I missed them. Uh, 47.9. So that is bearish. So a little bit of bearish movement coming in on the dollar. Nice 3-bar reversal on Euro US dollar. We looked at this one this morning. Okay, so we're back out above the Globex. We're back at the open basically. So it's a failed break to the downside by the bears. Not really anything happening, is there? Yeah, so Aussie US I was going to look at, wasn't I? So yeah, Aussie US, obviously we're just waiting for the pullback. It's not really broken out either, look. So it's a failed breakout to the upside last week. So yeah, I quite like it short. Aussie New Zealand, I took first entry short on today. Not today, yesterday. So short from there, first entry. But again, we haven't tested the monthly high yet, so we may well come back up and retest the 2-month high. News-wise this week for the Australian dollar, we've got the CPI number coming out on Wednesday morning. That is forecast to drop. Dropping CPI drops interest rates dropping drops price. So we could well see some weakness creep in, especially if this monthly. So this monthly, we're forecasting CPI to slightly pop up, even though we're going down on the year. If that number comes out as a negative, that will really drive that dollar down, the Aussie dollar. So we got a good chance, I think, of seeing a drop in the Australian dollar on Wednesday morning. But see what the news says. Still loads of wicks everywhere, look. So it's more bullish than bearish at the moment. But until we test that high, I'm not convinced. Dow's stalled out for the last 15 minutes. So since that PMI number came out, Dow's dead. Stuck. Nice strong close on the last 5 minutes on the NASDAQ. So I think we're going to test the highs of the day. I opened euro pound long after W pattern at the current zone. Depends what time frame you're looking at. Can't really see until we break that high. Nice extended on the 15, but it's not. So this low here, that area obviously is where we've been buying, so it's a good area to buy from. The problem is we had a parabolic move to the downside on it. Likelihood is you'll only get there before potentially tanking. Not quite sure why the euro is so weak today. That week actually, is it? It's all over the place. Everything's all over the place today. It's always like this. First day back after Christmas is always manic. It's just money. The banks and institutions have sat there for 2 weeks and done absolutely nothing with the commercial orders. They come in and they've got to execute tons and tons of commercial orders. My doorbell's busy today. Obviously, there's nobody in. So you just get a massive influx of orders, and it's just large volume. And if everybody's got an influx of buy orders, we will obviously go way, way above normal ranges because there's not going to be enough sellers sitting there to absorb the orders. So you get these huge ADR days. And obviously ADR has been contracted over the last 10 days because there's been no volume. So when you get a normal trading day, it looks like it's massive, but realistically, that's not actually massive movement. It's quite normal. It's just obviously ADRs are contracted at the minute. Inside bar going in on the NASDAQ. So I'm just looking at that as a trade idea at the moment. We are range bound on the NAS. So if we test that high and we fail, just give it a little bit of wiggle room and then come back down and test the low of the session, which is here. So we're testing the Globex high at the minute. See if we can get a breakout today. We have broken out temporarily, but not very convincingly. So looking to see if we can short those highs, see if we can pull back down into the lows and stay in a range. No one's in control of this at the minute. When you zoom out in H4 on Euro Pound, yeah, but there's no W pattern on 4-hour chart yet. There's no reason to buy on the 4-hour chart. Lower time frames, yeah. We've had a 5-minute reversal alert today. Kind of there. That high. That was your reversal alert there. That would have been your entry on the 5-minute, but it's failed. We've just double bottomed. So if this holds down here and starts to push back up again, that will be your confirmation that buyers are in control. On the hourly chart, we'll see another bull candle go in, but we're going to need some movement. It's tapped directly into that double bottom look, but that's really old, that level. We're going back to October last year. Say October last year. It's October. It's only 3 months old, isn't it? It's not actually that old, but it's last quarter basically. So it's a good area to buy from though. We broke out, retested, we rebought it every time we got there. We're back there for the first time. Just got to be careful that we're not obviously collapsing back down, but it's still ever so slightly bullish. But, you know, it's kind of a rounding pattern. But definitely a good buy on the hourly. That's the drama with the YouTube session. I took the M5W pattern in that H4 zone. Yeah, it's a good area. So really trying hard to go long at the moment, the bulls, but not able to get any traction being held in place. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, ADR. So all the US dollar pairs, ADRs at the moment. Wow, they're really selling it off, aren't they? Goodbye dollar. Good one, Trump, yet again. Screwed it up. So if you're short Aussie US, what's the CAD like? Yeah, CAD's rallying as well. I mean, there's no news coming through that I can see about any new developments. But it's only going to take one small escalation and that dollar's gone. Gold will be breaking long. I should imagine I've hit target on gold. Oh no, it's pulled back actually. That's interesting. So gold is flagging, which means they are selling gold and selling the dollar at the same time. Interesting. Long on NASDAQ. Euro pound 150 ADR. Of course, it's all going on today in that manic. Okay, so 150 ADR on the pound, euro pound. So we're coming nicely down into that area. Aussie US 125 ADR. This looks to me like somebody said something. Can't see anything coming through. Venezuela will be a US ally on security and energy. No reason why that should weaken the dollar. That came out before the PMIs though at 253, so that was not the reason for that drop in the dollar. Okay, so this candle now, obviously we've got a nice big candle up at the high, so a lot of volume coming through up here, but outside bar is indecision, so potentially this could be a failure to break high again today. So we've tried to get out the Globex highs once, failed. This is our second attempt to get out those Globex highs, put a new high of the day in. So we got a new high of the day. But there's too many wicks. No point in trying to trade this price action wise today. It's literally just wicks everywhere. Long on the ORB though. So ORB long target is Friday's high. So if this is going to break long, there's definitely an opportunity for that. Okay, so ugly, but there we go. So we've got bulls in control now. So there's 3 bull bars on back to back, all closed within 20% of their high. Yeah, so that is indicative of 15 minutes of strong bullish price action. So we're looking to buy dips at the moment. Bullish moving average. We're above the session moving average. We're above the normal 20 moving average. So pullback longs basically. Upside target is going to be your previous session daily high. Previous session highs, we've only had 2 similar gaps to this because it's a massive gap, an ADR gap, but it did hit the previous session high 100% of the time, both times. Opening inside, we hit the previous session high 43% of the time. So again, you've got to take all these today with a bit of a pinch of salt because this is a massive gap day. So there is a good, I think, probability of potentially hitting that long. So target wise, you got last week's high as well up here, which is not far away. Obviously last week we didn't have much price action because it was New Year. So if you want to get keen, potentially upside target is there, but that is a realistic upside target today. So all I'm looking for is some move up to test that area. So I'm looking for an opportunity to get a decent positive R trade. So I want price to pull back and then try and get into a long. So it could hit the button right now with a 1.7, but buying after a rally, I'd rather wait for a pullback. So looking for a pullback into somewhere into these previous lows here, which would be 50% retracement on this leg up. That would be an ideal spot to buy. if we can get a pullback into it, but I'm not going to chase it up here. Too far. But ORB obviously is broken long, so not very convincing, is it, today? A little bit crap. So I'm glad I got out of that dollar earlier. We've got 0.24 on it now. There. We'll see where we go. Right, so new high of the day. Just gone in on the NASDAQ. Dow. Yeah, still up. Highs of the day again. Can't get into this. You need a pullback. Can't just take breaks. You're not going to get enough movement. Just blindly hitting the buy button, but it does look like it wants to rally today, doesn't it? Just very difficult to get in. S&P's out into new highs as well. Nice big bull run on the S&P. Out the previous session highs. Last week's high is upside target. Difficult. Anybody got any other pairs they want to look at? There's not. We did do a full analysis of everything in the member stream this morning, so we went through all the pairs, but loads of ADRs today. RSI extensions. You've got US dollar CAD is extended to the downside. Oops, upside. Sorry, was extended to the upside. Really regretting not getting out of more of that, but. You got a 4-hour extension on that one, so it's a really good looking short at last week's high as well. So that reversal and retest, hoping that we're going to get some strength, but Mr. Trump's kind of stuck his foot in, isn't he? DAX extended to the upside as well. Nice gap fill opportunity on that one. Other than that, there's not a lot else to look at today. Euro pound on the 4-hour, nice entry. Euro yen extended to the downside. In fact, there's an argument for taking that off, isn't there? I'm going to shut that euro yen as well. I've got CAD yen on, so if the yen powers up this week, CAD yen is going to come into profit. That's in drawdown at the moment. Euro US dollar also was extended. That's pushing up now. Again, all of these moves that we're seeing today, not really anything to do with this. This is to do with what's going on with Venezuela, and obviously with the first day back in trading and just all the volume coming in. Quite possibly we're just going to do that today, just big range sideways on stuff. Okay, so it's got some bearish price action creeping in on the NASDAQ. So it's four bull bars in a row there at the highs. So again, this looks like a nice rejection at the highs here. Nice looking short. So there's your opportunity to come down from the highs, potentially forming. But I think there's more likelihood of us sort of pulling back into this area and then buying it back up again. So if you want to be a bear here, you want to be in and out quick, or at least protect it. There's no propulsion gaps to buy out of either. So there's literally nothing to give you any clues today. There's no propulsion gaps anywhere. It's just wicks. It's just shocking price action. Can't really see a reason to do anything today. Sit on your hands. So load of rubbish. Right. So this week, basically, we've got Friday, same as usual. I'm in on Friday. I'm always in, but Friday we've got the morning session. We're training the DAX on YouTube, 8 o'clock, and then member session is on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock. So we'll look at what's happened on Friday in the member stream. We'll look at what's happened with the unemployment rate. There'll be a news trading opportunity on that. So we'll see how much that's moved. We've also got Michigan at 3. So any news trades that are taken off the back of that unemployment rate, you've got a second wind that could potentially come at 3 o'clock to give it that extra steam. So should be quite a good opportunity on Friday. So I'll be on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock for the members session. We'll do an analysis of the week. We'll have a look at what's happened with Venezuela and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it could be a bit of a choppy week this week because we've got lots of uncertainty, obviously, with what's going on, and it's first week back, so high volume. So it's one of those keep the risk low and take the best opportunities weeks. Obviously, position trading is less important because we don't have to be that accurate. Okay, so there's a nice bear bar gone in. Could hit the buy button on that now. Use the moving average as a crutch. That's 1.3.5. So obviously a 50% retracement on that leg today so far is here. So if you want to be safer, that is your risk. So that's still 1.2 risk reward if you hit the button on that now. Long up into the previous session high, which has got a high probability of being hit if we're staying bull. But right now, you can look at that as a failed upside break for a short back into here and stay range bound. Turn the moving average off, didn't I? Yeah, tricky little trade today. Quite like that though. I kind of want to see this break though. This bear candle. If we get an inside bar now, it literally could go either way, couldn't it? This could be the start of the high of the day. It could also be a flag break long. Very, very difficult to read today. So I think keep the powder dry. Right, I'll be back on Friday. So if you've got anything you want to ask or anything, Discord, I'll get the video out on the risk reward tool and the ISLA indicator today, tomorrow. And obviously then we can use those moving forward. And if you've got any questions, fire away in Discord or Telegram. Other than that, I'll be back on Friday morning for the DAX, and I'll be back for Friday afternoon for members. So have a good week. Good luck this week. Fingers crossed if you live in the US that you don't start World War III. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Click. clack, charts attack, candlesticks, they spark the track. Lead move silent, market crack, profit stack, no turning back. Opening range, that's the game. Breakout hits, never the same. Algorithms play, but he rewires the frame. Banks whisper his name. Flipping forex, indices flex, numbers dance. What's coming next? Green lights flash, P&L stretch. Risk managed, he never sweats. West fact buzz and traders peep. Lessons deep, no time to sleep. Market's a beast, Lee's got the leash. Feast at the feast, his game's elite. Market structures his domain. Lee's the king, they know his name. Breakout sharp, he fuels the flame. Trading charts is not a game. Pip by pip, he stacking high. Mean reversion, banks comply. Lee's the reason markets run. Lee's the reason markets run. Markets run. Candles lit, wicks on fire, spread so tight the